occupational injury.
How did you do that?
Again, I'm the only, he had a foot injury. I am the only medical provider down there. It wouldn't matter who came in and was injured. I would have to. I have an obligation to treat.
Well, we're going to break and come back. We're talking to Lisa Smith. That's a pseudonym. A woman who's telling her story about working for KBR, she believed, in Iraq. Jamie Leigh Jones also with us, who is well known for speaking about what happened to her in Iraq. And we're also, when we come back, going to talk to the author of The Nation Piece, who exposed Lisa's story. Lisa will be revealing her identity when she testifies before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee tomorrow in Congress. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. We'll be back in a minute.
I am old, but I remember it was not so long ago. In a land so bright and shining, this is how the story goes. In the kingdom there was chaos, and the land was filled with fear. There was hatred, there was envy, in between the rich and poor. Oh, the water's rising, how will we get to the other shore? Many hearts are broken, but we ain't got so far to go. No, we ain't got so far to go. In a den of prostitution, to a girl both frail and weak, a child was born who had no father, so she left it on
Ain't got so far to go. David Byrne singing at the St. Anne's Warehouse for the Speak Out Against War on the 5th anniversary in Brooklyn, New York. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. We're talking with, well, Lisa Smith, a pseudonym, a woman who will be revealing her identity on Wednesday before the U.S. Congress, Jamie Leigh Jones, founder of the Jamie Leigh Foundation, and Karen Houppert, a woman who wrote a story about their two cases. She is joining us from Baltimore. But we want to go back to Lisa Smith. Tell us what happened. You just described, as a medic, having to treat your assailant. You worked for KBR in Iraq. Then what happened? When did this case start to get some attention? When did you feel someone was responding?
Actually, I did not feel anyone was responding and positively until I came back to the States on my R&R. I did give a report to Employee Relations. They then turned it over to an investigator for KBR, and I was forced to go speak with them. I spoke with them one day for several hours as they escorted me around the camp for my safety. I also was taken by them to the military for a physical exam and blood work. And the way it was presented to me was, well, you want to make sure that you're healthy, you want to make sure you're okay. And for me to have the testing done on my way out of country would have been costly to myself. I would have had to pay the expenses. And in fact, by taking me to the military, that's how it got turned over to the CID. The military physician who examined me had no choice but to report the assault to the military. I'm taking away any chance I had to actually decide whether I was going to report this through the military or not, and to do it on my time rather than their time. I had already talked to Dan Ross prior to speaking with the global investigators, and at no time was I told that the information I was giving them was being turned over to the military. And even after that point, I had requested a copy of the statement that I gave Global Investigations so I could forward it to my attorney. And I was told I could have that. The following day, I was told I would not be allowed to have that. That Criminal Investigations Division from the military did pick it up, and they would be contacting me shortly. At that point,
Lisa, a quick question. A quick question. Your computer was confiscated?
Yes, my computer was confiscated right after that. I had notified Dan again that Global Investigations was refusing to give me a copy of the statement. He then issued a letter to KBR, and shortly after I received that letter and responded to a date correction on it, within 10 to 20 minutes, KBR security came and pulled my computer. At that point, it was confiscated.
Was this your personal computer or given to you by them?
This is a company computer used to do all my daily reports.
And how did they justify taking your computer?
They said they needed it for evidence.
Now, I want to say KBR declined our request to join us on the broadcast today, but the corporate communications director, Karen Brown, did release this statement. It said, "The safety of all employees remains KBR's top priority. The company in no way condones or tolerates any form of sexual harassment. Any allegation of sexual harassment or sexual assault is taken seriously and thoroughly investigated. In no way are the allegations publicized recently an indication of KBR's treatment of women. The company's zero-tolerance policy towards sexual harassment is unwavering." Lisa, your response to KBR's statement?
My response to KBR's statement is that's funny. Employee Assistance Program told me, they gave me an 800 number back in the States to contact for counseling and for advice because they're not trained in handling sexual assault. There is no medical protocol on a treatment or proper steps to be taken for sexual assault. There is a medical protocol for treatment of STDs.
Is it true your 22-year-old son in the U.S. military in the Middle East was the one who encouraged you to make a formal complaint?
Yes, he did. He served 17 months in Afghanistan. And I wanted to discuss with him before I went to the CID to find out his opinion. And I really was leery that he would be angry with me because I was, naming people that were in his same military. And he was very definite, very much disgusted that somebody who wore his uniform would do that to anyone, let alone his mom. And he encouraged the report to CID.
Jamie Leigh Jones, does this sound familiar, what Lisa's describing? You worked for Halliburton, she for KBR.
Yeah, it does. It all sounds familiar. Just now, I'm getting tears to my eyes because part of the reason why I came forward was to prevent this type of thing from happening. I didn't think I would get emotional like this, but it makes me very, very sick that it's not stopping. What will it take? I don't know how many women it's going to take. My heart really goes out to you, Lisa. If I can do anything at all to help you, please just let me know. A lot of things are similar. My laptop was taken. I was drugged. I just can't imagine why they just can't change the situation over there. They've known it was a problem. They knew it was a problem because it happened to me. So I'm just really sick about it.
Lisa Smith, does someone like Jamie Leigh Jones coming out, did it make a difference for you? When did you learn of her plight? Has it strengthened you in coming forward?
I was not aware of Jamie Leigh's story even until after I had talked with Dan a couple of times. I had no idea that it had happened to other people, or even the frequency that it does happen. And it does give you a sense of strength when you know someone else has walked through these very shoes. And the same token, it is so unbelievably frustrating that this is continuing to happen, and that this company, who